David!
Oi, Mr. Fag! Give me a hand, me old fella servant.
Pardon me, glove, sir. Devilishly glad to see you, young lad. Why, my prince of charioteers, you look so hearty. But why the deuce are you in such a hurry?
Why, sure. Sir Anthony, Madam Julia, Erin, Miss Kate, and the postilion be all come.
Indeed.
Aye, Sir Anthony thought another fit of the gout was coming to make him a visit, so he'd a mind to get the slipping whip. They were off in an hour's warning.
Haste in everything, or it not be Sir Anthony absolute.
But pray, Mr. Fag, how does the young master? Sir Anthony will stare to see the captain here.
I did not serve Captain Jack now.
Why, sure.
Presently, I'm employed by Ensign Beverly.
Oh, I doubt that, Mr. Fag. You ain't changed for the better.
There's been no change, David.
No? Why didn't you say you left the service of the young master?
Well, honest. Let me puzzle you no further. Captain Jack and Ensign Beverly are one and the same person?
The devil they are! Do tell us, Mr. Fag, the meaning on't.
The cause is love. Love, David. A masquerader since the days of Jupiter.
But pray, why does he pass only for an ensign? If he had shammed general, indeed.
Ah, there's the mystery of the matter. My master's in love with a lady of a particular taste. A lady who likes him better as a half-paid ensign, though he be son and heir to Sir Anthony Absolute, Baronet of 3,000 a year.
Indeed, that is odd taste. But tell me, Mr. Fag, does she have the stuff? Is she rich, eh?
Rich? Why, I believe she owns half the stocks, David. Zounds, David, she could pay off the national debt as easily as I pay off my washerwoman. Why, she has a lapdog that eats out of gold. She feeds her parrots small pearls. And her thread books, why, they're made out of banknotes.
Sounds! I want she has a sad thousands at least. But did she take kindly to the cat?
Ah, as fondly as cooing pigeons.
May one hear, nay?
Miss Lydia Languish. But there's a tough old aunt in the way. By the by, she's never seen my master, for he made acquaintance with her while on a visit to Gloucester.
Well, I wish they were honest together in matrimony. But pray, Mr. Fag, what a place is that? Is a merrymaking, eh?
Pretty well, David, pretty well. 'Tis a nice lounge. But damn it, I'm tired of it. Their regular hours, why, they stupefy me. There's not a fiddle nor a card after 11. However, Mr. Falkland's gentleman and I often go off and have our own party. I'll introduce you to him. You'll like him, David. But first you must polish a little, yes indeed. Is that a wig? Why the devil are you wearing a wig? There's not a London whip of any degree that wears a wig now.
More's the pity, I say. When I heard how the doctors and lawyers took to their own hair, I thought, what would go next? I'd rabbit it. When fashion got full on the bar, I guess 'twouldn't mount the box. But believe me, 'tis all out of character. And look ye, Mr. Fag, I'll never give up mine. Doctors and lawyers be damned.
Aye, David, we'll not quarrel about that. Marky.
Looks, 'tis the captain. Is that the lady with him?
No, that's Lucy, Captain Jack's mistress's maid. She lives over there. Well, I must be going and tell him the news.
Odd. He's giving her money. Well, Mr. Fag.
Well, goodbye, David. I have an appointment at Giant's Porch tonight at 8. Meet me there and we'll have our own party.
Oh, and could you not get any of them, Lucy?
Elma, I traversed half the town in search of them. I don't believe there's a circulating library in Bath that I ain't been at.
Could you not get the reward of constancy?
No, indeed, Mum.
Nor the fatal connection?
No, indeed, Mum.
Nor the mistakes of the heart?
Oh, the memoirs of Lady Woodford? Indeed, Mum. I searched all over for it, and I might have found it from Mr. Frederick's, only Mr. Bull said Suki Sauna had just fetched it along.
Hi-ho! Did you inquire for the delicate distress?
Oh, no, ma'am. Lady Slatin Lounger, who had just read it, and so soiled in dog's ear that it wasn't fit for a Christian to read.
I yes, I always know when Lady Slattern has been before me. She has a most observing thumb, and I believe cherishes her nails for the convenience of making marginal notes. Well, child, what have you brought me?
Oh, here, Mom. This is the man of feeling.
Oh.
And here, Paraguayan pickle.
Oh.
This is the tears of sensibility. And free clinker.
Oh, here's someone coming. Quick, see who it is.
Very well, Lucy.
Surely I hear my cousin Julia's voice.
Lord, Mom, here is Miss Melville.
Is it possible? Oh, Julia! How delighted I am! How unexpected was this happiness!
True, Lydia, and our pleasure is the greater. But what has been the matter? You were denied to me at first.
Oh, Julia, I have 1,000 things to tell you. But first, inform me, what has conjured you to Bath? Is Sir Anthony here?
He is.
Oh.
We arrived within this hour, and I suppose he will be here to wait on Mrs. Malaprop as soon as he is dressed.
Then before we are interrupted, let me impart to you some of my distress. I know your gentle nature will sympathize with me, though your prudence may condemn me. My letters have informed you of my whole connection with Beverly, but I have lost them, my Julia. My aunt has discovered our intercourse through a note she intercepted, and has confined me ever since. Yet, would you believe it, she has fallen absolutely in love with a tall Irish baronet she met one night, since we have been here at Lady McShuffle's house.
You jest, Lydia!
No, upon my word. She really carries on a kind of correspondence with him, under a feigned name, though till she chooses to be known to him. But it is Delia, or Celia, I assure you.
Well, then surely she is now more indulgent to her niece.
Quite the contrary. Since she has discovered her own frailty, she has become 10 times more suspicious of mine. Then I must inform you of another plague. That odious Acres is to be embarked today, so that I protest I shall be teased out of all spirits.
Come, Lydia, hope for the best. Sir Anthony shall use his interest with Mrs. Malaprop.
But you have not heard the worst. Unfortunately, I had a quarrel with my poor Beverly just before my aunt made the discovery, and have not seen him since to make up.
What was his offense?
Why, nothing at all. But I don't know how it was. As often as we had been together, we had never had a quarrel. And somehow I was afraid he would never give me an opportunity, so last Thursday I wrote a letter to myself, informing myself that Beverly at that time was paying his addresses to another woman. I signed it, your unknown friend, showed it to Beverly, charged him with his falsehood, put myself in a violent passion, and vowed I'd never see him more.
And you let him depart so, and have not seen him since.
Oh, 'twas the next day my aunt found the matter out. I intended only to have teased them 3 days and a half, and now I've lost him forever.
If he is as deserving and sincere as you have represented him to me, he will never resign himself. Yes, consider, Lydia, you tell me he is but an ensign, and you have 30,000 pounds.
But you know I lose most of my fortune if I marry without my aunt's consent, and that is exactly what I have determined to do ever since I knew the penalty. Nor can I love the man who would wish to wait a day for the alternative.
Nay, this is caprice.
What? Does Julia tax me with caprice? I thought her love of Falkland had inured her to it.
I do not love even his faults. They, I own, have cost me many unhappy hours, but I have learned to think myself his debtor for those imperfections which arise from the ardor of his attachment.
Well, I cannot blame you for defending him, but tell me candidly, Julia, had he never saved your life, do you think you should be attached to him as you are? Believe me, the rude blast that overset your boat was a prosperous gale of love to him.
Gratitude may have strengthened my attachment to Mr. Falkland, but I loved him before he had preserved me. Yeah, surely that alone were an obligation.
Obligation? Why, a water spaniel would have done as much. Well, I should never think of giving my heart to a man because he could swim. What's here?
Mama, here comes Sir Anthony Castle. Just come on with your aunt.
They'll not come here. Lucy, do you watch?
Yet, I must go. Sir Anthony does not know I'm here, and if we meet, he'll detain me to show me the town. I'll take another opportunity of paying my respects to Mrs. Malaprop, when she shall treat me for as long as she chooses with her select words so ingeniously misapplied. That means pronounced.
Oh, Mom, they're both coming in.
No, well, I'll not detain you. Adieu, my dear Julia. I'm sure you are in haste to send Falkland. There, you'll find another way out.
Adieu.
Oh, here. Quick, hide these books. Put Peregrine Pickle, Roderick Random into the cabinet, and put the tears of sensibility and the whole feeling of man into your pocket. Now for them. Quick.
There, Sir Anthony, there stands the deliberate simpleton who wants to disgrace her family and lavish herself on a fellow not worth a shilling.
Why, madam, I thought you once...
You thought, miss? I don't know any business you have to think at all. Thought does not become a young woman. But the point we will request of you is, are you willing to forget this fellow? To illiterate him, I say, out of your memory?
Ah, madam, our memories are independent of our wills. It is not so easy to forget.
But I say it is, miss. There's nothing on earth so easy as to forget if a person sets about it. I'm sure I as much forgot your poor dear uncle as though he had never existed. And I thought it my duty to do so. And I must tell you, Lydia, these violent memories do not become a young woman.
Surely the young lady doesn't pretend to remember what she's been honored to forget. Comes with the reading.
Oh, what crime, madam, have I committed to be treated thus?
Oh, now don't attempt to explicate yourself from the matter. You know I have uncontrovertible of it. But tell me, are you willing to do as you are bid? Will you take a husband of your friend's choosing?
Madam, I must tell you plainly, had I no preference for anyone else, the choice you have made would be my aversion.
What business have you, miss, with preference and aversion? You don't become a young woman. And I must tell you, you ought to know that as they both wear off, it is safest in matrimony to begin with a little aversion. I'm sure I hated your poor dear uncle before marriage, yet you are sensible what a wife I made. And when it pleased heaven to release me from him, it is unknown what tears I shed. But suppose we were to offer you another choice. Will you promise to give up this Bethany?
Could I belie my thoughts so far as to give that promise? My actions would certainly as far belie my words.
Take yourself to your room, miss. You are fit company for nothing but your own ill humor.
Willingly, ma'am. I cannot change for the worse.
There's a little intricate hussy for you.
It is not to be wondered at, madam. Such are the consequences of teaching a lady to read. Coming hither, Mrs. Malaprop, I observed your niece coming forth from a circulating library, carrying a book under each arm, and there were fully bound volumes. At that moment, I guessed how full of duty I was to see her mistress.
There's a vile places indeed.
Madam, a circulating library in the town is as evergreen tree of diabolical knowledge, and it blossoms through the air. You can depend on it, Mrs. Malaprop, that those who are found that touch the leaves will long for the fruit at last.
Why, fie, Sir Anthony. You surely speak laconically.
Well, madam, in moderation, what would you have a lady know?
Observe me, Sir Anthony. I would by no means wish a daughter of mine to be a progeny of learning. I don't think so much learning becomes a young woman. For instance, I would never let her meddle with Greek or Hebrew or algebra or simony or fluxions or paradoxes or any such inflammatory branches of learning. Nor would it be necessary for her to handle your basic mathematical, astronomical, diabolical instruments. But, Sir Eckman, I would send her at 9 years old to a boarding school in order that she might learn a little ingenuity and artifice. Then she should have a supercilious knowledge in accounts. And as she grew up, I would have her instructed in geometry in order that she might know something of the contagious countries. Above all, she must be the perfect mistress of orthodoxy. That is, she should not mispronounce and misspell words the way so many of our young ladies nowadays constantly do. That, Sir Anthony, is what I would have a woman know. And I don't think there's a superstitious article in it.
Well, madam, I won't debate the point of view, and I must confess that almost every third word you say agrees on my side of the question. But to the more important point of the debate, you say you have no objection to my proposal.
None, I assure you. I'm under no positive engagement with Mr. Akers, and as Liddy is so obstinate against him, perhaps your son may find a better success.
And I will contact him directly. He knows not a syllable of this, but I've had it in my mind for quite a while now. He is at present with his regiment.
We have never seen your son, Sir Anthony, but I trust no objection on his side?
Objection? Let him object if he dare. No, Mrs. Malaprop, Jack knows that any demur will put me into a frenzy directly. Our process was very simple. When he was a young boy, it was Jack do this, and if he demurred, I knocked him to the floor. And if he grumbled, I sent him out of the room.
'Tis the properest way of my conscience. There's nothing so conciliating to young people as severity. Well, I will go and give Mr. Akers his discharge and prepare Lydia to receive your son's invocations. And I hope you may represent her to the captain as an objection not entirely illegible.
I will handle the matter. Well, I must say goodbye, and so good morning, Mrs. Malaprop. And Mrs. Malaprop, I say, I beg you to keep the girl round there. Give a firm hand. Good morning, Mrs. Malaprop. And Mrs. Malaprop, I say, if the lady objects, clasp her under lock and key. Good morning, Mrs. Malaprop. I beg you to instruct your servants to have her withhold her supper 4 or 5 evenings, you can't conceive how so come about. Good morning, Mrs. Malaprop.
Well, at any rate, I shall be glad to have her from under my intuition. She has somehow discovered my partiality for Sir Lucius O'Trigger. Sure, Lucy can't have betrayed me. No, she's such a simpleton, I should have made her confess it. Lucy! Lucy! Had she been one of your artificial ones, I should never have trusted her.
Did you call, Mom?
Yes, girl. Did you see Sir Lucius while he was out?
No, indeed, Mom. Not a glimpse of it.
You're sure, Lucy, that you've never met...
Ow, Jiminy! I'd sooner cut me tongue off.
Well, don't let your simplicity be reposed upon.
No, Mom.
So, come to me presently, Lucy, and I'll give you another letter to Sir Lucius. But mind, Lucy, should you ever betray what you're entrusted with, unless it be other people's secrets to me, you forfeit my malevolence forever, and your being a simpleton shall be no excuse for your locality.
Well, my simplicity, let me give you a little respite. Let girls in my station be as fond as they please of being expert and knowing in their trust. Commend me to a mask of silliness, with a pair of sharp eyes for my own interest under it. Let me see to what account my simplicity has been turned lately. For abetting Miss Lydia Languish in the design of running away with an ensign in money sundry times. £12.12. Gowns 5. Hats, ribbons, hats, etc., numberless. From the said ensign, within this last month, 6 guineas and a half. Item from Mrs. Malaprop, for betraying the young people to her. When I found matters were likely to be discovered, 2 guineas and a French shawl. Item from Mr. Akins, for carrying divers letters, which I never delivered. 2 guineas and a pair of silver buckles. Item from Mr. Lucius O'Trigger, 3 crowns, 2 gold pocket pieces, and a silver snuff box. Well done, simplicity. Yet, I was forced to tell my Hibernian and lead him to believe that he was corresponding not with the aunt, but with the niece. For, though not over rich, I found he had too much pride and delicacy. To sacrifice the feelings of a gentleman to the necessities of his fortune.
Sir, while I was there, Sir Anthony came in. I told him that I had been sent to inquire upon his health and to know if he was at leisure to see you.
And what did he say on hearing I was at Bath?
In my life, sir, I've never seen an elderly gentleman more astonished.
Well, sir, and what did you say?
Oh, I lied. I forget the precise lie, but you can depend upon it. He got no truth for me. Yet, with submission, and for fear of blunders in the future, I should be glad to fix that which has brought us to Bath, so we may lie a little consistently. Sir Anthony's servants are curious, very curious indeed.
You have said nothing to them.
Not a word, sir, not a word. Mr. David, who I take to be the most discreet of whips.
Step, you rascal! You have not trusted him.
No, not a syllable. Upon my veracity, sir. He was inquisitive, sir, but I was sly, devilishly sly. My master, I says, honest, David. You know, sir, one says honest to one's inferiors. My master, I says, has come to Bath to recruit. Yes, sir, recruit. And whether for men, money, or constitution, it made him no never mind, or anyone else.
Well, recruit will do, let it be so.
Recruit will do surprisingly. And I told David that you had already enlisted 5 disbanded chairmen, 7 minority waiters, and 13 billiard markers.
You blockhead, never say more than is necessary.
Beg your pardon, sir, beg your pardon. But when one submits a lie, it must be well supported. Sir, whenever I draw upon my invention of a good current will, whenever I draw upon my invention for a good current lie, I always endorse the bill as well as the.
Well, just take care you don't hurt your credit by offering too much security.
Yes, sir.
Is Mr. Falkland returned?
I believe he's outside changing his dress.
Go, tell him I'm here.
Sir. Beg your pardon, sir. If Sir Anthony should call, would you do me the favor to remind him that we are recruiting, if you please, sir?
Well.
And in tenderness of my character, if you could also bring the chairman and the waiters, I shall esteem it an obligation. For I do not mind lying for my master. Yet it hurts me conscience to be found out.
Now for my whimsical friend. If he does not get known his mistress is here, I shall tease him a little before I tell him.
Mr. Falkland, sir.
Ah, Falkland, you're welcome at Bath again. You are punctual on your return.
Well, yes, I had nothing to detain me when I finished the business I went on. Well, what news since I last left you? How stands matters between you and Lydia?
Faith, much as they were.
Nay, then you trifle too long. If you are sure of her, then propose to the aunt in your own character and write to Sir Anthony for his consent.
Softly. For though I am convinced my little Lydia would elope with me as Ensign Beverly, I am yet far from certain she would take me with the impediment of our friend's consent, a regular humdrum wedding, and a reversion of good fortune on my side. So then, Falkland, you'll dine with us today at the hotel?
Indeed, I cannot. I am not in the spirit, Ceil, of such a party.
By heavens, I shall forswear your company. You're the most teasing, captious, incorrigible lover. Do love like a man.
Ah, Jack, your heart and soul are not like mine, fixed immutably on one only object. You throw a large stake, but missing you can stake it throw again. But I have set my sum of happiness on this task, and not to succeed were to be stripped of all.
But for heaven's sakes, Falkland, what grounds for apprehension can your whimsical brain conjure up at present?
What grounds of apprehension did you say? Heavens, are there not thousands? I fear for her health, her spirit, her life. Ah, Jack, when 2 delicate and feeling souls are separated, there is not a feature in the sky, not a movement of the elements, not an aspiration of the breeze, but hints at some cause for a lover's apprehension.
Aye, but we may choose whether or not to take the hint. So then, Falkland, if you were convinced that Julia were well and in spirits, you'd be entirely content.
I should be happy beyond measure. I am anxious only for that.
Then cure your anxiety at once. She is in perfect health and is presently at Bath.
Nay, Jack, don't trifle with me.
She's arrived here with my father within this hour.
Can you be serious?
I thought you knew Sir Anthony better than to be surprised by a sudden whim of that kind. Seriously then, it is as I tell you, upon my honor.
My dear Jack, now nothing on earth could give me a moment's uneasiness.
Sir, Mr. Akers just arrived.
Then I'll leave you.
Stay. This Akers lives within an hour of Sir Anthony, and he can tell you exactly how your mistress has been since she's left her. In fact, show the gentleman in.
What, is he much acquainted in the family?
Oh, very intimate, and likewise a rival of mine. or rather of my other self, for he does not believe his friend Captain Absolute has ever seen the lady in question, and it is too ridiculous to hear him complain of one Beverly, a conceited, skulking
Hush,
rival.
he's here!
My dear friend, noble captain, and honest Jack, how dost thou? Just arrived, faith as you see, sir, your humble servant. Warm work on the roads, Jack. On whips and wheels, I've travelled like a comet, with a tail of dust all the way as long as the mall.
Ah, Bob, you are indeed an eccentric planet, but we know your attraction further. Come, give me leave to introduce Mr. Falkland to you. Mr. Falkland and Mr. Akers.
Sir, I was heartily glad to see you. Sir, I solicit your connections. Hey, what, Jack, is this Mr. Falkland?
Aye, Bob. Miss Melville's Mr. Falkland.
Oh, Mr. Falkland, you are indeed a happy man.
I have not seen Miss Melville yet, sir. I do hope she enjoyed full health and spirits while in Devon.
Never knew her better in my life, sir. Never better. On blushes and bloom, she has been as healthy as the German Spa.
Indeed. I did hear she had been a little indisposed.
False. False, sir. Only said to vex you, quite the opposite, I assure you.
There, Jack, you see? She has the advantage of me. I almost fretted myself ill.
Now you are angry at your mistress for not having been sick?
No, you misunderstand. Yet, surely a little trifling indisposition is not the unnatural consequence of being separated from those we love. Now confess, isn't there something unkind in this violent, robust, unfeeling health?
Sure, it was very unkind of her to be well in your absence.
Good spot, Jack.
Oh, well, sir, you were saying Miss Melville had been so exceedingly well. As is to say, I'm being merry and gay, I suppose. Always in high spirits, eh?
Merry old crickets. She has been the belle of the spirit of the company wherever she has been. So lively and entertaining, so full of wit and humor.
Find my soul. There is an innate levity in women that nothing can overcome. What? Happy while I'm away.
Just now you were only apprehensive for your mistress's spirits.
Jack, have I been the joy and spirit of the company?
No, indeed you have not.
Have I been lively and entertaining?
Upon my word, I acquit you.
Have I been full of wit and humor?
No, faith, to do you justice, you have been confoundedly stupid indeed.
What's the matter with the gentleman?
He is only expressing his great satisfaction at hearing that his mistress has been so well and in spirits. That's all, eh, Falkland?
Yes, she has a happy disposition.
Oh, that she has indeed. But then again, she is so accomplished, so sweet a voice, an expert at her harpsichord, a mistress of flat and sharp, squalante and rumblante and quiverante. Why, there was at this time month on minutes and crotchets how she did chirrup at Mrs. Piano's concert.
There!
Well, Falkland, I'll be sworn it was some melancholy ballad about blow gently gales and waft me, my lover, when absent from my heart's delight.
Oh no, don't you believe it. 'Twas nothing about waft me, my lover. 'Twas my heart's my own, my will is free, and so shall be my bosom. Why, that's very like her.
Fool! Fool that I am! To set my sum of happiness on such a trifle! Instead, for her to be the pipe and ballad-monger of a circle, for her light heart to be soothed with catches and glee. What can you say to this, sir?
That I should be glad to hear my mistress had been so merry, sir.
Nay, I am not sorry of that. Indeed, I am happy of that. But she has been dancing too, I doubt not.
What does the gentleman say about dancing?
He says the lady we speak of dances as well as she sings.
Aye, truly does she. Why, there was at her last race, Father.
Hell and the devil! There, I told you so. I told you so. She thrives in my absence. Dancing.
But for heaven's sake, Falkland, don't expose yourself so. Suppose she had danced, what then? Does not the ceremony of society often oblige?
Well, I'll contain myself, perhaps as you say, for form's sake. I say, Mr. Furlong. Miles. What's his damn name?
His damned name is Acres.
Ah, Mr. Acres. You are praising Miss Melville's manner of dancing a minuet, eh?
Oh, I dare injure her for that. But what I was going to speak of was her country dancing. Hot swimmings. She has such an air with her. Ooh. Wait, that's very like her too.
Now, disappointment on her. Defend this, Absolute. Why would you defend this? Country dances? Jigs and reels? Am I to blame now? A minuet I could have forgiven. I should not have even thought of that. I should not have even regarded a minuet. But country dances? Sounds had she been born a cotillion, I believe I could have even forgiven that. But to be monkey-led for a night, to run the gauntlet through a string of amorous, calming puppies, to show paces like a managed filly. Oh, Jack, there can never be but one man in the world who may truly modest and delicate woman on the pair within a country dance. And even then, the rest of the couple should be great uncles and aunts.
Aye, to be sure, grandfathers and grandmothers.
If there be but one vicious mind in the set, it'll spread like a contagion. The action of their pulse beats to the lascivious movements of the jig. Their warm-bred sighs impregnate the air. The atmosphere becomes electrical with love, and the amorous spark darts through every link in the chain. I must leave you. I own I am somewhat flurried, and that confounded booby has perceived it.
Nay, but stay, Falkland, and thank Mr. Acres for his good news.
There is news!
Poor Falkland, 5 minutes since nothing on earth can give him a moment's apprehension.
The gentleman wasn't angry at my praising his mistress, was he?
A little jealous, I believe, Holmes.
Oh, jealous of me? Well, that's a good joke.
There's nothing strange in that. Let me tell you, your sprightly grace and insinuating manner will do some mischief among the girls.
Mischief? You joke. Well, you know I'm not my own property. My dear Lydia has forestalled me. She never could abide me in the country, as I used to dress so badly, but odd frogs and tappers, I shan't take matters to you. Well, now that ancient madam has no voice in it, I'll make my old clothes know who's master. I'll straightway cashier the hunting frock and make my leather breeches incapable. My hair has been in training for some time.
Indeed.
The side curls are a little arrested. My hind part takes to it very kindly.
Oh, you'll polish, I doubt not.
I propose so. And if I can find out this Ensign Beverly on triggers and balls, I'll make him know the difference of it.
Spoke like a man. But pray, I notice you have a rather odd kind of a new method of swearing.
I've taken notice of it, eh? 'Tis genteel, isn't it? I didn't invent it myself, though. A commander in our militia, a great scholar, I assure you, says that they're no meaning in the commonos, and nothing but their antiquity makes them respectable. Because he says the ancients would never stick to an oath or two, but would say, by Jove, or by Bacchus, or by Mars, or by Venus, or by Pallas, according to the sentiment. So, to swear with propriety, says my little major, the oath should be an echo to the sense. And this he calls the oath referential, or sentimental swearing. 'Tis genteel, isn't it?
Very genteel, and very new indeed. And I dare say we'll supplant all other figures of imprecation.
Aye, aye, the best terms will grow obsolete. Damns about their day.
Sir, there's a gentleman outside desires to see you. Shall I show him to the parlor?
Yes, you may.
Well, I must be gone.
Stay. Who is it, Fack?
Your father, sir.
You puppy! Why didn't you show him in directly?
The idea of calling your father a gentleman. Your father a gentleman. You have business with Sir Anthony, and I expect a message from Mrs. Malaprop at my lodgings. I must also send for my dear friend Sir Lucius of Trier. You, Jack, We must meet at night, where you will give me a dozen bumpers to little Lydia. Hip, 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 hurrah!
That I will, with all my heart. Now for a parental lecture. I hope he has heard nothing of the business that has brought me here. I wish the gout had held him fast in Devon, on my soul. So, I'm delighted to see you here again, and looking so well. Your sudden arrival at Bath made me apprehensive for your health.
Very apprehensive, I dare say, Jack. What? You're recruiting here, eh?
Yes, sir. I am on duty.
Very glad to see you. I hadn't expected it. I was about to write you a letter on a matter of business. Jack, I have been considering that I am old and infirm and won't be with you very long.
Pardon me, sir, but I've never seen you looking more strong and hearty, and I pray fervently that you may continue, sir.
Well, sir, I hope your prayers are answered with all of my heart. And since I'm strong and hearty, I look forward to plaguing you for the next few years. Jack, considering that the commission that you receive, along with what I heretofore allowed you, is but a mere pittance for a lad of your spirit.
Sir, you are very good.
Jack, while yet I live, I wish to see my son become a figure of the war. So I have thus resolved to fix you in a noble independence.
Sir, your kindness overpowers me. But, pray, I would presume you would not wish me to quit the army.
Oh, that will be as your wife chooses.
My wife, sir?
Oh, yes, settle that between you. Settle that between you.
Sir, a wife, did you say?
Oh, didn't I mention that?
No, not a word of it.
Mustn't forget that, though. Yes, the independence I was speaking of is through marriage, and the estate comes saddled with a wife. No, that shouldn't make any difference.
Sir, you amaze me.
The devil's the matter with the fool? A moment ago you were all gratitude and duty.
Why, was, sir? You spoke to me of independence and a fortune. Not a word about a wife, sir.
Well, sir, if you're to have the estate, then you must take the livestock that's on it. Have it stacked.
Great, sir. Who's the lady?
What's that to you, sir? Just give me a nod and a promise that you will marry the girl directly.
Sure, sir. This is not very reasonable. To summon my affections for a lady I know nothing of?
Sir, it is more unreasonable for you to object to a lady you know nothing of.
Sir, you'll excuse me if I tell you, once for all, that at this point I cannot obey you.
Oh, harkey, Jack. I have heard you for some time now, and I have been cool, quite cool. Compliance itself, when not thwarted. No one more easily led when I get my own way. But don't put me into a frenzy.
Sir, I'll repeat it. In this, I cannot obey you.
Well, then, damn me if I'll ever call you Jack again.
Nay, sir, but hear me.
No, sir, not a word. Not one word. Now, give me a nod and a promise, or I tell you what, Jack. I mean, you dog. If you don't, then by God, I'll
What? Promise to link myself to some mass of ugliness?
Zounds, sir. She shall be as ugly as I choose. She shall have a hump on each shoulder. She shall be as crooked as the crescent. She shall have one eye that rolls like the bull. She shall skin like a mummy in a beard, sir. And you shall ogle her during the day and sit up at night writing sonnets to her beauty.
This is reason and moderation indeed.
No smiling, sir, no grinning, you jackanapes.
Indeed, sir, I was never in a worse humor for mirth in my life.
'Tis not true. I know you were smiling. I know you'll be grinning when I'm gone, sir.
Sir, I hope I know my duty better.
None of your violence, sir. None of your passion. It won't do, I promise you.
Indeed, sir, I was never cruel.
Confounded lie, you hypocritical young person you are. I know you are the passion.
Nay, sir, upon my word.
So you will fly out? Oh, well, can't you be cool, like me? What The good is passion. Passion is of no service, you impotent, insolent, overbearing young reprobate. There, you smile again, sir. You play with the mildness of my temper, the meekness of my disposition. Take care. The patience of a saint may be overcome at last. But mark it, sir. You will accept my proposal as it stands without condition. And if you don't, sir, then in maybe sometime I may forgive you. But if not, then don't enter the same hemisphere. Don't breathe the same air with me or share the same life. Find an atmosphere and a life of your own. I'll strip you of your commission. I'll like a 5 and 6 to the trustees, and you shall live on the interest. I'll disown you. I'll disinherit you. I'll get you. And by God, if I ever call you Jack again.
Mild, gentle, considerate father, I kiss your hands.
Assuredly, sir, our father is wrought to a degree. He comes muttering and stumbling and thumping on his way in. I, in the cook's dog, stand by the door, head bowed, rap. He hisses upside our head with his cane. Then he bids me take that to my master. Then he kicks the poor turnspit into the area, and damns us all as a puppy forever. Sir, upon my credit, if I were in your place and found my father to be of such bad company, I should certainly drop his acquaintance.
Cease your impertinence, sir. Did you come in for nothing more? Stand out of my way.
So, Sir Anthony trims his master, my master. He's afraid to reply to his father, so he vents his spleen upon poor father. When one is mad with another and seek revenge upon one who just happens to come by.
Mr. Fag, your master calls you. Quick, Mr. Fag!
Quick, you jackanapes. Am I being commanded by you too, you insolent kitchen bread?
Master kicks Fag, Fag kicks me. There's a sick cat outside. I'll go kick the cat.
So, I shall have another rival to add to my mistress list. However, I shall not enter his name until my purse has received due notice in form. Sir Lucius is generally more punctual when he expects to hear from his dear Dahlia, as he calls her. I wonder he's not here.
There was an ancient fair who loved a naked man, but she couldn't throw shapes eyes at him, but only through her fan. Oh, my little ambassadors. Upon my conscience, I've been looking for you. I've been on South Parade and Sapphire.
Oh, Jiminy, and I was waiting for you to worship on the north.
Ah, Faith, maybe the reason we did not meet, it is very comical to us. I was only picking an apple in the coffee house. I chose the window, chance that I might not miss you.
My stars, I lied to the sixpence that I went by while you were asleep.
Sure, it must have been so. And I never realized it was so late till I wake. Well, my little lady, have you got nothing for me?
Oh, yes I have. I've got a letter for you in your pocket.
Ah, Faith, I guess you weren't come empty-handed. Well, let me see what the dear creature says.
Master Lucius.
Sir, there is often a sudden incentive impulse in love that has a greater induction than years of domestic combination. As such was the commotion I felt at the first superfluous view of Sir Lucius O'Trigger. Oh, very good, upon my word. Female punctuation forbids me to say more. Yet let me add that it will give me joy infallible to find Sir Lucius worthy the last criterion of my affections. Yours, while meretricious, Daniel. Upon my conscience. Lucy, your lady is the mistress of the language. Faith, she's a queen of the dictionary for the double word refused to comment her call, though one would think it's quite out of hearing.
Aye, for a lady of her experience.
Experience? What, at 17?
Oh, 'tis true, but then, she reads so much. Oh, my stars, how she does read offhand.
She must be very deeply read to write that way. But she is a rather arbitrary writer, too, for here are many poor words pressed into service of this art that would get the habeas corpus in any court in Christendom. However, when affection guides the pen, he would be a brute to find fault with the style.
Said Lucius, you can hear how she speaks of you.
Well then, tell her I will make her the best husband in the world, and lay no trigger into the bargain. But we must get the old gentlewoman's consent to do everything fairly.
Nice, Lucius. I didn't think you was rich enough to be so nice.
Oh, young woman, you have I am so poor I can't afford to do a dirty action. If I did not want money, I would steal your mistress and her fortune with great pleasure. However, my pretty girl, my money is like a stray colt in a field. You have to chase it into a corner to catch it. But here's a little something for you to buy a rebound and meet me this evening, and I'll give you an answer to this. I'm so hussy, take a kiss beforehand to put you in mind.
Ow! I've never seen such a gentleman. Me lady won't like you if you're so impudent.
Oh, please, she will, Lucy. It's the same, wow, what's the name? Modesty. Modesty is a quality that I love her more praised by women than like. So if your mistress asks you if Sir Lucius ever gave you a kiss, you tell her 50, my dear.
What? Would you have me tell her a lie?
Well, you baggage, I'll make it a truth presently.
Oh, shame! Hey, there's someone coming.
Faith, now, fight your conscience. My love is the soul of a gay Irishman. He loves all that is lovely, he loves all that he can. With his blood in his barney and his buttery way.
Beg your pardon, Mum.
Oh, Mr. Fagg, you're flirting one soul.
Come, Lucy, there's no one by. A little less simplicity and a green or two more sincerity, you please. You play false with us, Phantom. I saw you give the baronet a letter. My master shall know of this, and if he don't call him out, I will.
Oh, Mr. Fagg, you gentlemen's gentlemen are so hasty. That letter was from Mrs. Malaprop, simpleton. She is taken with Sir Lucius' address.
What taste some people have. Why, I must have walked by her window at least 100 times. What says our young lady? Any message for my master?
Well, bad news, Mr. Fagg. A worse rival than Acres. Sir Anthony Absolute is proposing his son.
What? Captain Jack?
Indeed, I overheard it all.
Very good, Lucy, very good. I must away with this news.
Well, you might laugh, but 'tis true, I assure you. But, Mr. Fagg, tell your master not to be cast down by this.
Oh, he'll be so disconsolate.
Mr. Fagg, charge him not to think of quarreling with young Absolute.
Never fear, Mom, never fear.
Oh, Mr. Fagg. You should bid him keep up his spirits.
We will, Mom, we will.
Oh, Mr. Fagg. Oh, nothing.
Oh, Lucy.
It's just as I told me indeed. Whimsical enough, fate. My father wants to force me to marry the very girl I'm plotting to run away with. You must not know of my connection to her yet, Mark. There's too summary a method of proceeding in these matters. However, I will read my recantation instantly. My conversion is something sudden indeed, yet I'll convince him it is very sincere. So, here he comes. He looks plaguey gruff.
He shall die before I see him again. Die, did I say? No, I shall live these 50 years to plague him. And I sweetie. He was so impudent, he almost put me out of temper. What an obstinate, passionate, trustworthy young boy. I wonder where he takes that from. Must be his mother. So this was my reward by having him before his brothers and sisters. Isn't he £50 a month along with his commission? I am done with him. I shall never see him again. Never, 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 never.
Now for a penitential face.
Oh, get out of my way.
Sir, you see a penitent before you.
Sir, I see an impudent scoundrel behind me.
I have been revolving and reflecting and considering on your past goodness, kindness, and condescension to me.
Well, sir.
I have likewise been weighing and balancing what you are pleased to mention concerning duty, obedience, and authority.
Well, sir.
I've come to acknowledge my error and to submit to your will.
Oh, no, that makes sense. Absolute sense. Well, I've never heard anything more sensible in my life. Egad, I shall be calling you Jack again.
I'm happy in the appellation.
Now, Jack, I shall tell you who the lady is. Nothing but your passion and your violence prevented me from doing so before, sir. Now, prepare yourself for wonder and ravage. What think you of Miss Lydia Language?
Language? What, the languages of Worcester?
Mrs. Malaprop and her niece who came down from the county just before you were ordered up to your regiment?
Malaprop. Language. I don't recall ever to have heard the name before. Yet stay. I think I recollect something. Language. Language. She squints, don't she? A little redhead girl.
Squint? Redheaded girl sounds? No.
Then I must have forgot. It can't be the same person.
What think you of blooming, love-breathing 17?
As to that, sir, I am entirely indifferent. If I can please you in this affair, 'tis all I desire.
Oh, Jack, her eyes, Jack, so innocently wild, and yet so passionately articulate, yet but a glance speaks, kindles and thoughts of love. Oh, Jack, and her cheeks so fully blushed from the insinuations of her telltale eyes. And Jack, her lips, smiling so sweetly, and yet when not smiling, so sweetly pouting, so lovely in their sullens. And Jack, her neck.
And which is to be mine, sir, the niece or the aunt?
If I'd have given such a description at your age, I would have flown like a rocket. The aunt, indeed. When I ran away with your mother, I would never have looked at anything so old and ugly to gain an impulse.
Oh, yes, you would.
No, sir.
Oh, yes, you would.
No, sir.
Not to please your father, sir.
Not to please the devil.
Not to please your father, sir.
Not to please my father, indeed. My father would have that. My father. Jack, he isn't the indulgent person I am.
I dare say not, sir.
Jack, you're not upset that your mistress is so beautiful?
I'll repeat it. If I can please you in a matter, it is all I desire.
Oh.
Not that I think a woman worse for being handsome, but pray, sir, if you please to recollect, you before hinted something about a hump or two, one eye, and a few other graces of that kind. Now, without being very nice, I own I should rather choose a wife of mine to have the usual number of limbs, a limited quantity of back, and while one eye may be very agreeable, as the prejudice has always run in favor of two, I would hate to create a singularity in that article.
Fanatic you are, sir. You're an anchorite, a dull and sensible stock. You, a soldier? Well, you're not fit to polish the company's regimentals. Egad, I have a mind to marry the girl myself.
I am entirely at your disposal, sir. If you choose to call upon this language, I suppose you would have me marry the aunt. Or, if you change your mind and take the old lady, 'Tis the same to me now, married weeks.
Now you dating the hypocrites come, I know your judgment on the matter must be a lie, so you're either lying or playing the hypocrites. I will never forgive myself if you're lying or playing the hypocrite.
I am sorry that the respect and duty which I bear to you should be so mistaken.
Hang your respect and duty. Come along now. I shall write a little note to Mrs. Malaprop, and you shall see the lady directly. And Jack, when you see her eyes, it will be the Floridian touch to you. Oh, and when you come back, if you're not full of wonder and rash, zounds, I'll marry the girl myself.
They told me Julia would return directly. I wonder why she's yet come. How mean does this captious, unsatisfied temper of mine appear to my foolish judgments? What honest joy sparkled in her eyes when we met. How delicate was the warmth of her expressions. Yet I must be satisfied that she is not so very happy in my absence. She is coming.
Oh, I had not hoped to see you again so soon.
Could I, Julia, be content with my first welcome here, restrained as we are, by the presence of a third person?
Oh, Falkland. When your kindness can make me thus happy, let me not think that I had discovered something of coolness in your first salutation.
'Twas but your fancy, Julia. I am rejoiced to see you in such health. Sure I had no cause for coldness.
Nay, then I see you have taken something ill. Oh, you must not conceal from me what it is.
Well, shall I own to you that my joy of hearing of your arrival here by your neighbor Acres was somewhat damped much on his dwelling, much on the high spirits you enjoyed in Devon. On your mirth, singing, dancing, and I know not what. For such is my temper, Julia, to regard any mirthful moment in your absence as a treason to constancy.
Must I never cease to tax my Falkland with his teasing minute caprice? Can the idle reports of a silly boy weigh in your breast against my child affection?
No. I am happy if you have been so. Yet, say that you did not sing in mirth. Say that you saw a Falkland in your dance.
I never can be happy in your absence.
You were ever all goodness to me. I am a brute, but to even admit a doubt to your true constancy.
If ever, without such cause from you as I will not suppose possible, you find my affections bearing but a point, they now become a proverbial scoff for levity and base ingratitude.
Julia, I would I had no title to your gratitude. Search your heart. Perhaps what you have mistaken for love is but the warm effusion of an all too faithful heart.
For what quality must I love you?
For no quality. To regard me of quality of mind or understanding were only to esteem me. And for person, I often wish myself deformed, to be convinced that I owe no obligation therefore any part of your affection.
So you are determined to be unkind. The contract which my poor father bound us in gives you more than a lover's privilege.
Again, Julia, you raise ideas that feed my doubts. How shall I be sure, have you remained unbound in thought or promise, that I should still be the object of your persevering love?
Oh, then try me now. Let us be three strangers as to what has passed. My heart will not feel more liberty.
Again, Julia, so hasty, so anxious to be free? If your love for me were truly fixed and ardent, you would not lose your hold even though I wished it.
I know not whither your insinuations would tend, but as this thing pressing to insult me, I will spare you the regret of having done so. I've given you no cause for this.
In tears. Stay, Julia. Stay but for a moment. And yet, I deserve it. To quarrel with her tenderness after so long an absence, 'twas barbarous and unmanly. I should be ashamed to see her now. I shall wait for my love's just resentment to be abated, and if I am to distress her again, may I lose her forever.
Your being Sir Anthony's son, Captain, will itself be sufficient accommodation. But from the ingenuity of your appearance, I am convinced you deserve the character he has given you.
Permit me to say, madam, that as I have never yet had the pleasure of seeing Miss Languish, my principal inducement in this affair at present is the honor of being allied to Mrs. Malaprop, of whose intellectual accomplishments, elegant manners, and unaffected learning, no tongue is silent.
You do me infinite honor. I beg, Captain, you'll be seated. A few gentlemen nowadays know the value of the ineffectual qualities in a woman. And think how a little learning becomes a gentlewoman. Men have no sense now but for the worthless blossom of beauty.
'Tis but too true indeed, ma'am. Yet I fear our ladies should share some of the blame, for they think our admiration of beauty so great that knowledge in them would be superfluous. Thus, like garden trees, they seldom show fruit till time has robbed them of the more specious blossoms. Few, like Mrs. Malaprop and the orange tree, are rich in both at once.
You overpower me with your good breeding. He is the very pineapple of politeness. Ignorance, Captain, that this giddy girl has somehow contrived to fix her affections on a beggarly, strolling, eavesdropping ensign whom none of us have seen and nobody knows anything of.
Oh, I have heard the silly affair before, and am not at all prejudiced against her on that account. However, it must be very distressing indeed for you.
It gives me the hydrostatics to such a degree. I thought she had persisted from corresponding with him, but behold, just today I have managed to intercede another letter from the fellow. I believe I have it here in my pocket.
Oh, the devil, my last note!
Oh, here it is.
I'm a note indeed of that traitress Lucy.
There, perhaps you may know the writing.
I think I have seen this hand before. Yes, I certainly must have seen this hand before.
Oh, nay, but read it, Captain.
My soul's idol, my adored Lydia. Very tender indeed.
Tender eye, and profane too, my conscience.
I am excessively alarmed at the intelligence you send me, the more so as my new rival
That is you, sir.
has universally the character of being an accomplished gentleman and a man of honor. Well, that's handsome enough.
Oh, he has some reason to write so.
He has had that, and I'll answer for him.
But go on, you shall see presently.
As for the old weather-beaten she-dragon who guards you, well, who can you mean by that?
Me, sir? Me, sir? I am the old weather-beaten she-dragon. Oh, he means me there. What do you think now? Oh, but go a little further.
Impudent scoundrel. It shall go hard, but I will elude her vigilance, as I am told that the same ridiculous vanity which makes her dress up her coarse features and deck her dull chat with hard words she don't understand.
That's an attack upon my language. What do you think of that? An aspersion on my parts of speech. Was there ever such a brute? Sure, if I reprehend anything in the world, it is the use of my oracular tongue. A nice derangement of epitaphs.
He deserves to be hanged and quartered. Let's see. Same ridiculous vanity.
You need not read it again.
Beg pardon. Which does also lay her open to the grossest deceptions from flattery and pretended admiration and impudent coxcomb. So that I have a scheme to see you shortly, with the old Sheridan's consent, even to make her a go-between in our interviews. Was ever such assurance?
Did you ever hear anything like it? Oh, he'll elude my vigilance with me. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, he's very likely to come through these doors. We'll try who can plot best.
So we will, Mum, so we will. But, Mrs. Malaprop, as the girl seems so infatuated with the fellow, suppose you were to wink at her corresponding with him yet a while. Let her even plot an elopement with him. Then do you connive at her escape, whilst I, just in the nick, have the fellow laid up by the heels and fairly contrive to carry her off in his stead.
Oh, I am delighted with the scheme. Never was anything better perpetrated.
But pray, Mrs. Malaprop, can I not see the lady for a few minutes now? I should like to try her temper a little.
I don't know. I think she's not ready for a visit of this kind. There is a procedure in these matters.
She won't mind me. Only tell her that Beverly has come.
Sir?
Gently, good Mom.
What did you say of Beverly?
Oh, I was going to say, tell her by way of jest that it was Beverly that were here to see her. She'd come in soon enough then.
Oh, 'twould be a trick she well deserves. Besides, you know, he tells her he'll get my consent to see her. Lydia, come here! He'll make me a go-between in their interviews. Come here, I say, Lydia! Though I don't wonder at your laughing. His impudence is truly ridiculous.
'Tis very ridiculous, for my soul, Mum.
Oh, the silly hussy won't hear. Well, I'll go and tell her at once who's here. She shall know that Captain Absolute is here to wait upon her. And I'll make her behave as becomes a young woman.
As you please, Mum.
For the present, your servant, Captain. You're not done laughing yet, I see. Oh, he'll elude my vigilance. He'll make me a go-between.
Make you a go-between? One would think that now I might cast off all disguise at once and seize my prize with security. But such is Lydia's caprice that to undeceive will probably to lose her. I'll see whether she knows me.
What a scene am I now to go through? Surely nothing could be more dreadful than to be obliged to listen to the loathsome addresses of a stranger to one's heart. I have heard of girls, persecuted as I am, who have appealed in behalf of their favored lover to the generosity of his rival. Suppose I were to try it. There stands the hated rival, an officer too. But oh, how unlike my Beverly. I wonder he don't begin. Truly he seems a very negligent wooer, quite at his ease, upon my word. I'll speak first. Mr. Absolute.
Mum.
Heavens! Beverly!
Hush, my lad, softly. Be not surprised.
I am so astonished and so terrified and so overjoyed. For heaven's sake, how came you here?
Briefly, I had deceived your arms, for I heard my rival was to come here this evening, contriving to have him kept away, and pass myself off as Captain Absolute.
Oh, how charming! And she really takes you for young Absolute.
She's convinced of it.
I can't forbear laughing to think how her sagacity is overreached.
Thus we trifle with our precious moments. Such another opportunity may not occur. Thus, let me now fix, my kind, my condescending angel, to conjure the time when I might rescue you from undeserved persecution, and with a licensed warmth plead for my reward.
Will you then, Beverly, consent to forfeit that portion of my paltry wealth, that burden on the wings of love?
Come to me, rich only thus in loveliness. Bring no portion to me but thy love. 'Twill be generous enough in you, Lydia, for well you know 'tis the only dower your poor Beverly can repay.
How persuasive are his words! How charming will poverty be with him!
By heavens, I would cast off all goods of fortune with a prodigal hand to enjoy the scene where I might clasp my Lydia to my bosom and say, the world affords no smile to me but here. If she holds out now, the devil's in it.
Now could I fly with him to the Antipodes, but my persecution is not yet come to a crisis.
I am impatient to know how little company wants herself.
So pensive, Lydia. Has then thy warmth abated?
Oh, warmth abated. So, she's been in a passion, I suppose.
No, nor ever can while I have life.
Ill-tempered little devil. She'll be in a passion all her life, will she?
Let her choice be captain absolute. But Beverly is mine.
I am astonished at her insurance. This to his face. To his face.
Thus, then, let me enforce my suit.
I, poor young man, down on his knees, entreating pity. Oh, I can contain no longer. Why, thou vixen, I have overheard you.
Confound your vigilance.
Captain Absolute, I know not how to apologize for her shocking rudeness.
So, all safe, I find. Nay, ma'am, I have hopes that time will bring
Oh, there's nothing to be hoped for from her. She's as headstrong as an allegory on the banks of the Nile.
Nay, madam, what do you charge me with now?
Why, thou unblushing rebel, didn't you just tell this gentleman to his face that you loved another better? Didn't you say you never would be his?
No, madam, I did not.
Good heavens, what insurance! Lydia, Lydia, you ought to know that it does not become a young woman to lie. Didn't you boast that Beverly, that stroller Beverly, possessed your heart? Tell me that then.
Indeed, ma'am, and none but Beverly.
Oh, hush, hush, assurance.
Nay, ma'am, don't stop the young lady's speech. She's more than welcome to talk thus. It does not hurt me in the least, I assure you.
Oh, too good, too amiably patient. Come with me. Sit there. Let us see you again soon, Captain. Remember what we have fixed.
I shall, ma'am.
Come, take a graceful leave of the gentleman.
May every blessing wait on my Beverly. My beloved Beverly.
Indeed, David. Dress does make a difference, David.
'Tis all in all difference. Why, were you to go now to Glendale, I'm certain the old lady wouldn't recognize you, and Master Butler wouldn't believe his own eyes. Dairy Pickle would cry, Lord preserve me, and Yana's favorite would come giggling out the door, and I question whether a dog in the house would bark, and I wager Phyllis wouldn't wag a hair of her tail.
Indeed, David, there's nothing like polishing.
So I says of Yana's boots, but the boy never eat me.
But David, has Mr. De La Grace been here? I must rub up on my balancing and chasing and boring.
I'll call again, sir.
Do, and see if there are any letters for me at the post office.
I will. Bother, Mass, I can't help but looking at your head. If I hadn't been at the cooking, I wish I may die if I should know it again.
Sink, slide, coupe. Confound the first inventors of cotillion, say I. They are as bad as algebra to us country gentlemen. I can walk a minuet easy enough when I am forced. I can't do good stick in a country dance on jigs and tabors. I never valued your crossover to couple, figuring right and left, and I footed with every captain in the country, but these outlandish heathen Alamanza cotillions are quite beyond me. Oh, I'll never prosper at them that shore. Mine are true-born English lads. They don't understand their cursed French lingo. They're pause this and pause that and pause together. Why, damn me, my feet don't like to be called paws.
Sir Lucifer O'Tigger to wait on you.
Sir Lucius O'Trigger, you blockhead. Send him in.
Sir Lucius O'Trigger, you blockhead, come in.
Mr. Wright, I am delighted to see you.
My dear Sir Lucius, I kiss your hand.
Oh, pray, sir, my friend, what brings you so suddenly to Bath?
Faith, I have found Cupid's jack-o'-lantern and found myself in a quagmire at last. In short, Sir Lucius, I have been very ill-used. I don't choose to mention names, but look on me as a very ill-used man.
Oh, pray, what is the case? I ask no names.
Well, mark me, Sir Lucius. I fall as deep as need be in love with a young lady. Her friends take my part. I follow her to Bath, send word of my arrival, and receive answer that the lady is to be otherwise disposed of. Why, yes, Sir Lucius, I go being ill-used.
Oh, very ill upon my conscience. Pray, can you devise the cause of it?
Why, there's the matter. She has another lover, one Beverly, who I'm told is now in Bath. Not slanders and noise, he must be at the bottom of it.
A rival in the case, is there? And you think he has supplanted you unfairly?
Well, unfairly? To be sure he has. He never could have done it fairly.
To be sure, then you know what you must do.
Not I, upon my soul.
We wear no swords here, but you understand me?
No, I don't. Oh, what fighting?
To be sure, what can I mean else?
But he has given me no provocation.
Oh, now, he has given you the greatest provocation in the world. Can a man commit a more heinous offense against another than to fall in love with the same lady? Why, upon my soul, it's the most unpardonable breach of friendship.
Breach of friendship, aye, but I have no acquaintance with this man. I've never seen him in my life.
Oh, there's no argument. He has the less right, then, to take such a liberty.
Egad, that's true. I grow full of anger, Sir Lucius. I fire apace. On Hilton Blades, I find a man may have a deal of valor in him and not know it. But couldn't I contrive to have a little right on my side?
What the devil does right signify when your honor is concerned? Do you think that Achilles or my little Alexander the Great ever inquired as where the right lay? Oh no, by my soul, they drew their broadswords. They let the lazy sons of peace settle the justice of it.
Your words are a grenadier's march to my heart. Well, I believe courage must be catching. I certainly do feel a kind of valor arising, as it were. A sort of courage, as I may say. On flint, pans, and triggers, I'll challenge him directly.
Ah, my little friend. If we had Blunderbuss Hall here, I could show you a range of ancestry in the old Traeger line that could furnish the new room, every one of whom had killed his man. And though the mansion house in dirty acres,
Oh, dirty acres,
has slipped
Lucius.
through our fingers,
Oh, Sir Lucius.
has slipped through our fingers, I thank heaven that our honor and family pictures are as fresh as ever.
Sir Lucius, I've had ancestors too. Every man of them a colonel or captain.
Indeed.
In the militia. Say no more, I brace for it. The thunder of your words has soured the milk of human kindness in my breast. Zounds, as the man in the play says, I could do such deeds, I could drink hot blood.
Oh, come, there must be no passion in the case. These things should always be done civilly.
But I must be in a passion, Sir Lucius. I must be in a rage. Oh, do, Sir Lucius, let me be in a rage if you love me. Oh, come, here is pen and paper. Oh, lady, would the ink were red. Indict, I say, indict. How shall I begin? Oh, I'll write a good bold hand, however.
Pray compose yourself.
Oh, no, compose yourself. Oh, come now, shall I begin with an oath? Oh, do, Sir Lucius, let me begin with the damn.
Oh, do the thing decently like a Christian. Begin now. Sir.
Oh, that's too civil by half.
plain, sir. To prevent the confusion that might arise.
To prevent the contusion which might arise.
From our both addressing the same lady.
Both undressing the same lady. Oh, why, there's the reason, same lady, you know?
I shall expect the honor of your company.
Zones, I'm not asking him to dinner.
Oh, pray be easy.
Well, I expect the honor of your
K is more correct, but C is more common.
Yeah.
To settle our pretensions.
Well?
Oh, let me see. To be sure, why not? At Kingsmead Field. Kingsmead Field will do in Kingsmead Field.
To be sure. At Kingsmead Field will do.
Damn will tickle it.
Damn will tickle him. I got a damn after all.
That's the cut.
That's the cut. So that's done.
What is this? Plain, sir. Would you redress your wrongs by undressing a lady? That's the cut. Oh, cut that out. Damn will tickle. Really, Miss Akers, this won't do at all.
Well, I'll fold it up presently. My own crest, hand and dagger shall be the seal.
And now you see, this little explanation will prevent any misunderstanding or confusion that might arise between you.
Right, we fight to prevent any misunderstanding.
And I will leave it to you now to set your own time. But take my advice and you will do it this evening if you can. You know, let the worst come of it. It'll be off your mind tomorrow.
Very true.
So I shall see nothing of you unless by letter until this evening. I would do myself the honor of taking your message, but to tell you a little secret, I believe I shall have an affair on my own hands. There's a gay captain here who passed a jest on me lately and at the expense of my country, and I only want to fall in with him to fall out with him.
Oh, by my valor, I should like to see you fight first. Odds alive, I should like to see you kill him. If it were only to get a little lesson.
I should be very happy of instructing you, very proud of instructing you. So, for the present, but remember, when you meet your antagonist, do everything in a mild and agreeable manner. Let your courage be as keen and yet as polished as your sword.
Well, sir, by the mass, I would do no such thing. Now, Sir Lucius so trigger in the kingdom make me fight when I wasn't so minded. Hans, what would the old lady say when she hears all?
But my honor, David, my honor. I must be very careful of my honor.
I'd be very careful of it indeed. And in return, my honor couldn't do less than be very careful of me.
Odds blades, David, a gentleman would never risk the loss of his honor.
I'd be civil in honor to never risk the loss of a gentleman. Look ye, master, this honor seems to be a marvelous false friend, a very courtier-like servant indeed. Put it to you this way, say I was a gentleman, would shake heavens no one can say of me. And the honor causes me a quarrel with a gentleman of my acquaintance. So we fought pleasant enough that no one, boom!
Don't do that!
I kill him, there's more me luck. And who gets the benefit of it? Why, me honor. But say he kills me first. By the mass, I go to the worms and me honor whips over to me enemy.
No, David, in that case on crowns and laurels, your honor follows you to the grave.
That's the one place I can make a shift to do without it.
David, you are a coward. It doesn't become my valor to listen to you. What, should I disgrace my ancestors? Like, think of that, David. Think of what it would be to disgrace my ancestors.
By the mass, the surest way of not disgracing them is to keep as long as you can out of their company. Holland's often such a hurry to meet him, with an ounce of lead in your brains no less. Well, I think it might as well be left alone. Look ye, master, Our ancestors are very good sorts of folk, but they're the last people I would want a visiting acquaintance with.
But now, David, you don't think there's very great danger, eh? Odds like people often fight without any mischief done.
I think 'tis 10-1 against ye. Hans, after meet some lion-headed fellow with your damn double-barreled swords and your cut-and-thrust pistols. Lord bless us, makes me tremble to think on't. Those be such desperate, bloody-minded weapons. I never could abide 'em. Even as a child, I never could fancy 'em. Hans, there ain't so merciless a beast in the world as your loaded pistol.
Zounds, I won't be afraid. Odds fire and fury, you shan't make me afraid. Here is the challenge, and I'll send for my dear friend, Jack Absolute, to carry it for me.
Aye, in the name of mischief, let him be the messenger. As for me, I'll have no hand in it. Not for the best horse in your stable. Why, it don't look like another sort of letter. Looks like a designing and malicious-looking letter. I want its nose of gunpowder, like a soldier's pouch. I can't be sure it shan't go off.
Ouch, you poltroon. Pick it up.
No.
You have the valor of a grasshopper.
I'll say no more. 'Twill be a sad day at Claudeau indeed. Poor Phyllis not knowing what shooting her master's getting up to. An old crook who scared your honor field and road these last 10 years will curse the day he was born.
It won't do, David. I'm determined to fight, so get along, you coward, while I'm in the mine.
Captain Rabsalute to wait on you.
Send him in.
Heaven sends me I'll be here this time tomorrow.
Out, you cowardly, dastardly, croaky raven! Vile, sheep-hearted blockhead. If I hadn't the valor of St. George and the dragon to boot.
What did you want? To Ensign Beverly. So, what's going on now? Well, what's this?
A challenge.
Indeed. Well, you won't fight involved, will you?
Egad, but I will, Jack. Sir Lucius has brought me to it. He has left me full of rage, and I'll fight this evening so that so much good passion may be wasted.
What am I to do with this?
Well, as I think you know something of this fellow, I want you to find him out for me and give him this mortal defiance.
Well, give it here and trust me he gets it.
Thank you, my dear friend, my dear... Oh, but it is giving you such great trouble.
Not in the least. David, don't mention it. It's no trouble in the world, I assure you.
You are very kind. What it is to have a friend. Well, you could be my second, could you, Jack?
Why, no, Bob. Not in this affair. It would not be quite so proper.
Well, then, I must get my dear friend, Sir Lucius O'Shea. But I'll have your well wishes, however, Jack.
Whenever he needs you, believe me. Well, my little hero, success attend you.
Stay, Jack. If Beverly should ask you what sort of man your friend Akers is, do tell him I'm a devil of a fellow, will you, Jack?
To be sure. Oh, tell him that you are a determined dog, eh?
Right. Do, and, well, if that frightened him, perhaps he may come. So tell him I generally kill a man a week, will you, Jack?
I will. I'll tell him that you are called, in the country, Fighting Bob.
Right. It is all to prevent mischief, or well, you don't want to take his life if I clear my honor.
No, that's very kind of you.
Well, you don't wish me to kill him, do you, Jack?
No, upon my soul I do not. Yes, devil of a fellow, eh?
Oh, true. But stay, Jack. You might also add that you've never seen me in such a rage before, a most devouring rage.
I will.
Remember, Jack, a determined dog.
Aye, Fighting Bob.
Tell him I kill him in a week.
I will.
Tell him I kill him in a day.
I will.
I say, Jack, tell him I keep a private graveyard to bury my own dead.
Oh, my tell me what you can object in him. Isn't he a handsome man? Tell me that. A genteel man, a pretty figure of a man.
She thinks little of whom she is praising. So is Beverly, Mum.
No comparisons, miss, if you please. Comparisons are odorous and do not become a young woman. No, Captain Absolute is a fine gentleman.
I, the Captain Absolute you have seen.
Then he is so well bred, so full of alacrity and adulation. He has so much to say for himself, and in such good language, too. His physiognomy so grammatical. His presence so noble. I declare, when I saw him, I thought of what Hamlet says in the play. Hesperian curls, the front of Job himself, an eye like March to threaten at command, a station like Harry Mercury knew, something about kissing on a hill. However, the similitude struck me directly.
How enraged she'll be presently when she discovers her mistake.
Sir Anthony and Captain Absolute are outside, Lana.
I send them in. Now, Lydia, I insist you behave as becomes a young woman. Show your good breeding, at least, though you forgot your duty.
Madam, I have told you my resolution. I shall not only give him no encouragement, but I won't even speak to or look at him.
Here we are, Mrs. Malaprop, come to mitigate the frowns of unrelenting duty. Difficulty far along this board. So if I hadn't running by force, he'd given me the slip.
You have infinite trouble, Sir Anthony, in the affair. I am ashamed of the cause. Lydia, rise, I beseech you. Pay your respects.
Madam, I hope the lady is reflected on the worth of this gentleman and the regard to your aunt's choice and my allegiance. Now, Jack, speak to her.
What the devil shall I do? Sir, she won't even look at me whilst you are here. I told you so, I knew it. Let me leave us together.
Say, sir, I won't stir a foot yet.
I'm sorry to say, Sir Anthony, that my affluence with my niece is very small. Run, Lydia, I blush for you.
Madam, I hope the lady whose language would assign cause for the dislike of my son. You begin to speak, you probably speak.
It is impossible she can have any. She won't say that she has.
Ow!
Answer, hussy, why won't you answer?
Madam, I trust that the lady's hasty and childish predilection will be no bar to my son's happiness. Blast to speak to her.
Madam, please, sir, I am so confounded and so confused. The tremor of my passion quite takes away my presence of mind.
Well, it hasn't taken away your voice, has it, sir? Now go and speak to her directly.
Heaven send she may be too sullen to look round.
The devil you at! Unhook your jaw, sir.
I must disguise my voice. Would not Miss Languish lend an ear to the mild accents of true love?
What the devil ails you, sir? If you don't speak to her directly and not stand there croaking like a frog with the quinsy.
The excess of my awe and my modesty quite choke me.
Oh, your modesty again. I'll tell you, sir, if you don't speak directly and give it to her, I shall be in such a rage. Miss Malaprop, would you please ask the lady to favor us with something besides a side front?
Oh!
So, all without, I find. Be not surprised, my Lydia. Suppress all surprise at present.
Heavens!
'Tis all over.
Beverly? The devil you say? Oh, this is my son, Jack Absolute.
For shame, hussy, for shame. Your head runs so on that fellow, you have him always in your eyes. Beg Captain Absolute's pardon directly.
I see no Captain Absolute, but my beloved Beverly.
She's gone mad. Her brain's been turned with the reading.
Mercy, I believe so. What is this talk of Beverly, hussy? You've seen Captain Absolute before today. There he is, your husband that shall be.
With all my soul, Mum, when I refuse my Beverly.
She's mad as Beverly.
Oh!
Or has this fellow been playing a rogue's trick? Come here, son. Who the devil are you?
Faith, sir, I'm not quite certain myself, but I shall endeavor to recollect.
Are you my son or not? Answer for your mother, you dog, if you won't for me.
Powers of impudence befriend me. Sir, most assuredly, I am your wife's son. And as I sincerely believe myself to be yours also, I hope my duty is always shown. Mrs. Malaprop, I am your most respectful admirer, and would be proud to add affectionate nephew. I need not tell my Lydia that she sees before her faithful Beverly, who, knowing the singular generosity of her temper, assumed that name in a station which has proved the test of the most disinterested love, and she now hopes to enjoy in a more elevated character.
So, there's to be no elopement after all!
On my word, sir, you're most ignorant, no? But do you justice? I have never seen a piece of more consummate assurance.
Oh, you flatter me, sir. You compliment. It is my modesty, you know, sir. My modesty that has stood in my way.
I'm glad you're not the dull, sensitive varlet that you pretend to be. And I'm glad you made a fool of your father, sir. I am. Is this your penance, your obedience, your duty? Couldn't remember the name, eh? The languages of Worcester. All you want to do is please your father. That's all you desire. To simply villain you. She squints, a red-headed lady, eh? You hypocritical young rascal. I wonder you're not ashamed to hold your head.
'Tis with difficulty, sir. I am confused, most certainly confused, as you must perceive.
Oh, new light breaks upon me. Hey, how what, Captain? Did you write those letters then? What? Am I to thank you for the elegant compilation of an old weather-beaten she-dragon
Did you really call her an old weather-beaten she-dragon?
Oh, mercy! Was it you reflected on my parts of speech?
My modesty will be overtaken at last. If you don't assist me, I shall certainly not be able to handle it.
Come, Miss Malaprop, forgive and forget. Things have taken such a strange curve that I could find it in my heart to be so good-humored and gallant. Hey, Miss Malaprop, come, let them be together. They long to fly into each other's arms out. The cheeks, eh, and the eyes you roll, and the lips, as I said, eh? Goodness, Malaprop, let them share their tenderness together. Theirs is the time of happiness, and love is the season of joy. He got out such a spirit, I think there's nothing I cannot do. Permit me, Mrs. Malaprop, totally wrong. Oh, I have such a feeling I'm going to put myself totally wrong. Totally wrong.
'Tis as I suspected, that damned monosyllable is frozen. What, Lydia? Now that we are as happy in our friends' consent as we are...
Consent, indeed.
Come, come. We must lay aside some of our romance. A little bit of wealth and comfort may be endured after all. As for your fortune, the lawyers...
Lawyers! I hate lawyers!
Nay, then we will not wait for the lingering forms, but procure a license...
License! I hate licenses!
Then there'll be no license. Oh, my love, be not so unkind. Thus, let me entreat.
Oh! What signifies kneeling when you know I must copulate?
Nay, there will be no constraint upon your inclinations. If I have lost your heart, I resign the rest. Egad, I must try what a little spirit can do.
Then, sir, let me tell you, the interest you had acquired there was acquired by a mean and unmanly imposition and deserves the punishment of fraud. What? You have been treating me like a child? Humoring my romance and laughing, I suppose, at your success?
You wrong me, Lydia, you
So
wrong me.
I fondly imagined that we were deceiving my relations, and flattered myself that I should outwit and incense them all. Behold, I find my hopes are to be crushed at once by my aunt's consent and approbation, and I am myself the only dupe and lost. Oh, but here, sir, here is the picture, Beverly's picture, which I have worn night and day in spite of threats and entreaties. There, sir, and know I throw the original from my heart as easily.
Nay, nay, we will not disagree as to that. Here is Miss Lydia Languish. What a difference! There is the heavenly assenting smile that first gave soul and spirit to all my hopes. Those are the lips which sealed a vow, as yet scarce trying Cupid's calendar. There the half-resentful blush that would have checked the ardor of my thanks. Well, all that's gone, all over indeed. Here now, in beauty this picture is not your equal, but in my mind its merits over the original, and being still the same, are such that I'll put it in my pocket.
'Tis your own doing, sir. I suppose you are perfectly satisfied.
Oh, most assuredly, this is much better than being in love. There's some spirit in this. Signifies breaking some scores of solemn promises. Well, all that makes no difference, I assure you. Certainly they will say the lady didn't know her own mind. But don't worry about that. Or perhaps they will be ill-natured enough to suggest that the gentleman grew tired of the girl and forsook her. But don't let that fret you.
There's no bearing his insolence!
Come, we must interrupt your billing and cooing a while.
This is worse than your treachery and deceit, you base, ingrate!
Malaprop, this is the oddest billing and cooling I've ever heard. What's the meaning of it? I'm quite astounded.
Ask the lady, sir.
Well, analyze for my part. Why, Lydia, what is the reason of this?
Ask the gentleman, Mom!
Say, I shall be in a frenzy. You haven't come out to be somebody else, are you?
Oh, aye, sir, there's no more trick, is there? You're not like Mr. Service. 3 gentlemen at once?
You will not let me speak. I tell you, the lady can account for this better than I.
Mom, you once commanded me never to think of Beverly again. There stands the man. I now obey you, for from this moment, I renounce him forever!
Oh, mercy and miracles! What a turn this is! I'm putrefied! Why, sure, Captain. You haven't behaved inspectedly with my niece.
And now I see it. And now I see it. Oh, Jack, you've been too lively.
Nay, sir, on my word.
So, no lie. So you rode and your father before you. The blood of the absolute has always been impatient.
Why, all that's good, sir.
Say no more. I will have Miss Malaprop make your peace. Make his peace with her, Mrs. Malaprop. Tell her 'tis Jack's way. Tell her 'tis the way of all the absolute. 'Tis always been in the blood of the absolutes. Oh, Jack, lively. Oh, Miss Malaprop, such a young villain.
Oh, Sir Anthony! Oh, fie, Captain!
I wonder where this Captain Absolute hides himself. These military officers always in the way in love affairs.
Well, I remember I might have married Lady Dorothy Carmine had it not been for a little rogue of a major who ran off with her before she could get sight of me. And I wonder, too, what it is that the ladies see in them that make them so fond of them. Unless it's a touch of the old serpent in them that causes them like little creatures being caught like vipers with a piece of red cloth. Ah, is this the captain coming? Faith, yes. There's a probability of succeeding about him that is quite ordinary, extraordinary. But who the devil is he talking to?
To what fine purpose have I been plotting? A noble reward for all my schemes, upon my word. The little vixen. I did not think her romance could make it so damned absurd. I was never in a worse humor in my life. I could cut my own throat, or any other person's, with the greatest of pleasure in the world.
Faith, here's the luck of it. I could not have found him in a more sweeter temper for my purpose. To be sure, I'm just in the nick. Now, to enter into conversation with him, and so quarrel genteelly. In regard to that matter, Captain, I beg to differ in opinion with you.
Upon my word then, Sir Lucius, you must be a very subtle disputant, as I happened just then to be offering no opinion whatsoever.
Oh, pray, sir, give me leave to tell you that a man can think an untruth as well as speak one.
Very true, sir, but if a man does not utter his thoughts, one would think they might escape controversy.
Then you disagree in opinion with me, and that amounts to the same thing.
Hark ye, Sir Lucius, if I had not known you to be a gentleman before this interview, I certainly would not have discovered it today. But what you mean to drive at, unless you mean to quarrel with me, I cannot imagine.
Well, I humbly thank you, sir, for the quickness of your apprehension. For you have named the very thing I would be at.
Well, I have no desire to balk at your inclinations, but I should like you to explain your motives.
Oh, well, pray, sir, the quarrel is a very pretty quarrel as it stands, and we would only spoil it by trying to explain it. However, your memory is very short, or you would not have forgot the affront you passed on me within the week. So say no more, but name your time and place.
Well, since you are so intent on this, the sooner the better. Let us meet this evening at Springs Gardens. We shall scarcely be interrupted.
Faith. Such an interruption in things of this nature shows great ill breeding. I don't know the reason, but in England, when things of this kind get wind, people get into such a pother that a gentleman can't fight in peace and quietness. So, Captain, if it's all the same to you, I would consider it a particular kindness if you'd let us meet at Kingsmead Field, as a little business will take me there about 6 o'clock, and I can dispose of both matters at once.
'Tis the same to me, exactly.
And if you please, sir, it will be a very, very pretty small sword fight, but it won't do for a long shot.
A little after 6, then. We will discuss this matter more seriously.
The matter's set. Mine's at ease.
Hi-ho! Though this fellow has used me so, he runs strangely in my head. I am sure one lecture from my great cousin will make me recall him. Oh, Julia!
cause of my uneasiness? Something has flurried me a little. Something you can guess at.
Ah, Julia, whatever vexations you may have, I can assure you mine surpass them. You know who Beverly proves to be.
I will now own to Lydia that Mr. Falkland had before informed me of the whole affair.
Oh, I see I am to be deceived by everyone, but I don't care. I'll never have her.
Nay, Lydia.
Oh, why is it not provoking when I thought we were coming to the prettiest distress imaginable to find myself made a mere Smithfield bargain of at last? There, and I projected one of the most sentimental elopements, so becoming a disguise, so amiable a ladder of ropes, conscious moon, 4 horses, Scotch parson, with such surprise to Mrs. Malaprop, and such paragraphs in the newspapers. Oh, I shall die with disappointment.
I don't wonder at it.
Now, sacrifice! What have I to expect after a deal of flimsy preparation with a bishop's license and my aunt's consent to go simpering up to the altar, or perhaps be cried 3 times in a country church and have some unmannerly fat clock ask the consent of every butcher in the parish to join John Absolute and Lydia Languish, spinster? And I should live to hear myself called spinster?
Melancholy indeed.
How mortifying when I remember the dear, delicious shifts I used to be put to gain half a minute's conversation with this fellow. How often have I stole forth on the coldest night in January and found him in the garden stuck like a dripping statue. There would he kneel to me in the snow and sneeze and cough so pathetically, he shivering with cold and I with apprehension. And how warmly would he press me to pity his flame and glow with mutual honor. Oh, Julia, that was something like being in love.
I were in spirits, Lydia. I could chide you only by laughing heartily at you. But it suits more the situation of my mind at present, earnestly to entreat you not to let a man who loves you with sincerity suffer that unhappiness from your caprice, which I know too well caprice can inflict.
Where are they?
Oh, blood! What has brought my aunt here?
So, here's fine work. Here's fine suicide, parricide, and dissimulation going on in the fields, and no Sir Anthony to stop the catastrophe.
For heaven's sake, madam, what's the matter?
This gentleman can tell you. Twice he enveloped the whole affair to me.
No patience, Mum. Do tell us what is the matter.
Well, murder's the matter, slaughter's the matter, killing's the matter, but he can give you the perpendiculars.
Do speak, my friend.
Pardon me, Mum, but there's mischief going on. People don't usually meet for pleasure with firearms, fire engines, fire screens, fire office, and the devil knows what other crackers. This small lady has an angry favor to her.
But who's engaged?
My poor master, under favor of not mentioning it first. You know me, my ladies. I'm David, and the master is, or was, Squire Akins. Then there's Captain Absolute, and lastly Squire Falkland.
Do, ma'am, let's instantly endeavor to prevent mischief.
Oh, why, it would be very inelegant in us. We should only participate, please.
Do, my dear aunt, let us hasten to prevent them.
Do, Miss Aunt. Save a few lives. They're desperately given, believe me. But most of all, there's that bloodthirsty Philistine Sir Lucius O'Trigger.
Sir Lucius O'Trigger? Have they somehow conspired to draw poor little dear Sir Lucius into the scrape?
Oh,
you stand, girl. You have no more feeling than one of the dove-shut putrefactions.
What are we to do, madam?
Why, fly, with all felicity, to be sure, to prevent mischief.
Oh, fie, dear aunt. It would be very inelegant in us. We should only participate things.
Come, girls. This gentleman will exhort us. You shall be our envoy. Lead on, and we'll proceed. You're sure you know the spot?
Ne'er fear, Mum. One good thing is we should find out by the report of the pistols.
Pistols? Oh, that's lie!
Oh.
By my valor then, Sir Lucius, 40 yards is a good distance. Odds, levels, and aims, I say it is a good distance.
Well, it is for muskets or small field pieces, but oh, upon my conscience, Mr. Eckman, you must leave these things to me. Now stay, and I'll show you. 1, 2. Now, that's a very pretty distance, a pretty gentleman's distance.
It sounds we might as well fight in a sentry box. I tell you, Sir Lucius, the further he is off, the cooler I shall take my aim.
Well, I would suppose you would aim best in if he were out of sight.
No, Sir Lucius, but I should think 40 or 38 yards.
Wow, nonsense. 3 to 4 feet between the mouths of your pistols is as good as a mile.
Odds bullets, no. There's no merit in killing him so near. Let me take him down in a long shot, Sir Lucius. A long shot, if you love me.
His friend and I will have to settle that, but tell me, Mr. Akers, in case of an accident, is there a little will or commission I could execute for you?
I'm much obliged to you, Sir Lucius, but I don't understand.
You may think there's no being shot at without a little risk. And if unlucky bullet should carry with it a quietus, and I say it'd be no time then to be discussing family matters with you.
Oh, quietus?
For instance, if this should be the case, would you prefer to be pickled or sent home?
I'd rather be preserved.
Would it be the same to lying in the abbey? Yours very snug lying in the abbey.
Pickled? Snug lying in the abbey? Oh, it's Trevor, Sir Lucius, don't talk so.
I suppose, Miss Akers, that you have never been engaged in an affair of this kind before.
No, Sir Lucius, never before. And I'll make damn sure I never am again.
Well, it's a pity. It's not that I've been used to a thing. But pray, tell me, sir, how would you receive the gentleman's shot?
Oh, odds files, I practiced that. There, Sir Lucius, there. Sorry, front, eh? Odds I'll make myself small enough. I'll stand edgeways.
Oh, now you're quite out for it. You stand so as I take my aim.
Sir Lucius, are you sure it's not cocked?
Never fear.
But you don't know, it may go off on its own head.
Far be easy. But if I hit you in the body, then my bullet has a double chance, for if it does not hit a vital part on your left side, it'd be hard if it doesn't succeed on the right.
A vital part?
Fix yourself so. Hello, Mr. Stranger?
Here I am.
Let him see the broadside of your full throttle. Do you call that the broadside of your full front? That's the broadside of your full back. Really, Miss Akers, will you ever in Ireland?
Never.
I thought not. You have learned never to turn your back on a friend in distress or a foe in a fight. There. Now, a ball or two may pass clear through your body and do no harm at all.
Clean through me? A ball or two clean through me?
Aye, may they. And it's the most genteelest attitude in the bargain.
Look ye, Sir Lucius, I just as levy be shot in an awkward posture as a genteel one. So by my valor, I'll stand edgeways.
Yeah, for sure. I hope they don't disappoint us.
I hope they do.
I think I see them coming.
What, coming?
Who are those over yonder by the stile?
There are two of them indeed. Let them come, Sir Lucius. We won't run.
Oh, run!
Oh, no, we won't, by my valor.
What the devil's the matter with you?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, my dear Sir Lucius, my dear. It's just that somehow I don't feel quite so bold as I did.
Fine, consider your honor.
Aye, true, my honor. Do Sir Lucius edge in a word or two every now and then about my honor?
Here they're coming.
Oh, Sir Lucius, if I wasn't with you, I should think I was afraid. If valor should leave me, well, valor will come and go.
Well, pray, keep it fast while you have it.
Oh, Sir Lucius, I doubt it's going. Yes, it is certainly going. I can feel it sneaking off. It's oozing out hitherward from the palms of my hands.
Oh, your honor, they're coming.
Oh, I'm going.
Oh, they're here.
Oh, I'm gone. Oh, I thought it was safe at Claude Holler to be shot before I was aware. Oh.
Gentlemen, you're most obedient. Well, I suppose, sir, that you have come, like myself, to do a kind office first for your friend, and then to proceed on matters of your own account, Captain Absolute.
What? Jack! Oh, my dear friend, my dear Jack!
Pardon, Bob, Beverly's that man.
Mr. Akers, I don't blame you for saluting the gentleman civilly. Mr. Beverly, if you would choose your weapons, the captain and I will measure the ground.
My weapons, sir.
Well, Sir Lucius, I'm not going to fight Mr. Falkland. Why, these are my particular friends.
What, sir? Did you not come here to fight Mr. Akers?
Not I, upon my word, sir.
Well, this is mighty provoking. Well, I hope, Mr. Falkland, since there are three of us who have come for the game, that you won't be so cantankerous as to spoil it by sitting out.
Pray, Falkland, fight to oblige Sir Lucius.
Well, Sir Akers is so bent on the matter.
No, Mr. Falkland. I'll bear my disappointment like a Christian. Well, look ye, Sir Lucius. There's no occasion for me to fight at all. So, if it's all the same to you like this, let me leave it alone.
Observe me, Mr. Akers. You have certainly challenged somebody, and you have come here to fight him. And if that gentleman is willing to be his representative, I can't for my soul see what the difference is.
Why, no, Sir Lucius. I tell you, 'tis one Beverly I challenge. A fellow who you see dare not show his face. Why, if he were here, I would make him give up his pretensions directly.
Hold, Bob, let me set you right. There is no such person as Beverly is the case.
Oh, I'm damn glad of it.
The person who assumed that name is before you, and as his pretensions run the same in both characters, he is ready to support them in whatever way you please.
Why, this is lucky. Now you have an opportunity.
What quarrel with my good friend Jack Absolute? What, not if you were 50 Beverleys. Zounds, Sir Lucius, you wouldn't have me so unnatural. Don't worry, Jack, they won't hurt you.
Mr. Akers, your valor is oozed away with a vengeance.
Not in the least. Odds, backs, and amateurs, I'll be your second with all my heart. And if you should get a quietus, you may command me entirely. I can find you snug lying here in the Abbey, or pickle you and send you over to Blunderbuss Hall. Anything of the kind with the greatest of pleasure.
You are a little better than a coward.
Mind me, gentlemen. He calls me a coward. Oh, coward was the word by my valor. Well, you heard him call me a coward.
Well, sir,
look ye, Sir Lucius, 'tisn't that I mind the word coward. Well, coward may be used in a joke, but if you had called me a poltroon, not daggers and balls,
well, sir,
I should have thought you a very ill-bred man.
oh, fuck. You, sir, are beneath my notice.
More's my good luck.
Nay, Sir Lucius, you can't have a better second than my friend Akers. He is a most determined dog, called in the country Fighting Dog. Well, you generally kill a man a week, don't you, boss?
Yes, in the country, but never on a party of pleasure.
Well then, Captain, this we must begin. So come, my little counselor, and ask the gentleman if he will resign the lady without you having to proceed against him.
Come on, then. Since it won't let it be an amicable reply, here's my reply.
Knock him down, sweet Sir Anthony! Especially my master! Point his hands over to that good bag,
Oh, sure, you cowardly hound! How dare you interfere?
What up, Jack? What up? How dare you duel, sir?
'Twas he that called on me. And you know, sir, I serve his majesty.
There's a pretty fellow going to shoot a man and says it's in the service of his majesty. Zounds, sir. How dare you raise the king's musket against one of his majesty's subjects?
Sir, that gentleman can explain better than I. 'Twas he that called on me, and he did not explain his reasons.
That's right, sir. He says you called on him without explaining your reason.
Your son, sir, insulted me in a manner that my honor could not brook.
Zounds, sir. He says you insulted him in a manner which his honor could not brook.
Come, let's not have honor before ladies. Captain Absolute, come here. How would you intimidate us, sir? Here's Lydia terrified to death for you.
For fear I should be killed or escape, ma'am.
No delusions to the past. Lydia is convinced.
By your leave, ma'am. I believe I can interpret the lady's silence. Now, Mark.
What is it you mean, sir?
Come, Dahlia, we must be serious. This is no time for trifling.
'Tis true, sir, and your reproof bids me offer this gentleman my hand and solicit the returns of his affections.
Oh, my little angel, say you so? Solutions. I perceive there must be some mistake here. As to the affront which you affirm I have given you, I can only say it could not have been intentional. And as you must be convinced that I am not afraid to support real injury, you will now see that I am not ashamed to atone for an inadvertence. I ask your pardon. As for the lady, while honored with her approbation, I will support my claim against any man whatever.
Well said, my boy. I stand next you.
Mind? I give up all my claim. I make no pretensions at anything in the world, and if I can't have a wife without fighting for her, well then by my valor, I'll live a bachelor and pay the tax.
Captain, give me your hand. An affront handsomely acknowledged becomes an obligation. And as for the lady, if she chooses to deny her own handwriting here...
Solve my mystery. Sir Lucius, perhaps there's been a mistake. Perhaps I can help to illuminate.
Oh, pray, gentlewoman, do not interfere where you have no business. Miss Lady, are you my Dahlia or not?
Indeed, Sir Lucius, I am not.
Sir Lucius, oh trigger, ungrateful as you are, I own the soft impediment. Pardon my chameleon blushes. I am Delia.
You? Dahlia? Easy.
Barbarous Van Dyke, those are my letters. When you are more sensible of my benignity, perhaps I may encourage your addresses.
Mrs. Monte, I am extremely sensible to your condescension. And whether it was you or Lucy who put this trick upon me, I am equally beholden. And to show that I am not ungrateful, Captain, since you have taken the lady from me, I will give you my Dahlia into the bargain.
Sir, I am most obliged to you. However, there's my friend, Fighting Bob, quite unprovided.
Little valor. Would you make your fortune?
Odds wrinkles, no! Forgive us your handsome Lucius, forget and forgive. And if I ever give you a chance of pickling me again, say your friend Bob Akers is a dunce. That's all.
Come, Miss Malaprop, don't be downcast. You're in your bloom yet.
No, Sir Anthony. Oh, men are barbarians.
He seems dejected and unhappy, not sullen. There was some foundation, however, for the tale he told me. Woman, how true should be your judgment when your resolution is so weak?
Julia, how could I sue for what I so little deserve? I dare not presume yet. Hope is the child of penitence.
Oh, Falkland, you are no more faulty in your unkind treatment of me than I am now in wanting inclination to resent it. As my heart honestly bids me place my weakness to the account of love, I should be ungenerous not to admit safely to yours.
Then I shall be blessed indeed.
What's the matter here? You're quarreling as well as one. I say, Julia, I normally don't interfere. May I have a hand in this at last? The only fault with my dear friend Falkland seems to stem from what he prefers to as his delicate and warm affection for you. So marry him directly, Julia, and he'll mend surprisingly.
Ah, come now. I hope there is no dissatisfied person here who is content. As I have been disappointed myself, it would be very hard if I did not see the satisfaction of seeing other people succeed better.
Well said, Sir Lucius. So, Jack, I wish you joy. Mr. Falkland, the same. Come now, ladies, to show that I'm neither vexed nor angry, odds, tabards, and pipes, I'll order the fiddles to the new rooms in half an hour, and I insist on you all meeting me there.
Fine, sir, I like your spirit. And we single lads shall sit up at night and drink toast to the loving couple. And a good husband for Mrs. Malaprop. Good drink, lads. Good drink.
Ladies, for you I heard our poet say he tried to coax some moral from this play. One's morals plain, cried I, without more fuss. Man's social happiness all rests on us. Through all the drama, whether damned or not, love gilds the scene, and women guide the plot. From every rank, obedience is our due. Take doubt, the world's great stage shall prove it true.
The sight, well skilled to shun domestic strife, will sup abroad, but first he'll ask his wife. John Trot, his friend, for once will do the same, but then he'll just step home and tell his dame.
The surly squire at noon resolves to rule, and half the day zounds, Adam is a fool. Convinced at night, the vanquished victor says, "Ah, Kate, you women have such coaxing ways."
The jolly toper chides each toddy blade, till reeling backwards holds on love for aid. Then with each toast he sees fair Bumpers swim, and kisses Chloe on the sparkling brim. Nay, I have heard that statesmen great and wise may sometimes counsel with a lady's eyes. The servile suitors watch her various face. She smiles, preferment, or she frowns, disgrace. Curtsies a pension here, they're not the place.
Nor with less awe in scenes of humbler life is viewed the mistress, or is fed the wife. The poorest peasant of the poorest soil, the child of poverty and heir to toil, early from radiant love's impartial light steals one small spark to cheer this world of night. Dear spark, that oft through winter's chilly woes is all the warmth his little cottage knows.
The wandering child, who not for years has pressed the widowed partner of his day of rest, on the cold decks far from her arms removed, still hums the ditty that his Susan loved, and while around the cadence rude is blown, the boatswain whistles in a softer tone. The soldier, proud of wounds and toil, pants for the triumph of his Nancy's smile. But ere the battle should he list her cries, the lover trembles, and the hero dies, that heart through worn honor steeled to fear, droops on a sigh and sickens at a tear.
But ye more cautious, ye nice judging few, who give to beauty only beauty's due. Though friends to love ye view with deep regret our conquest marred, our triumphs incomplete, till polished wit more lasting charms disclose, and judgment fits the dots which beauty throws. In female breasts did sense and merit rule, for lover's mind would ask no other school. Shamed into sense, the scholars of our eyes, our rule from gallantry would soon be wise, would gladly like their homage to improve. The lamp of knowledge at the torch of love.